Nothing hits like Hotline Miami. Top-down shooters have come and gone, but not a single one since has quite been able to recapture that hectic moment-to-moment action. Even the game's own sequel failed to recreate the magic that pervaded every pore of the original. But what if you flushed out all of Hotline's neon psychedelics and shot its veins full of enough tactical tools to make Tom Clancy's pants tighten up? What if you played as an elite operative rather than a guy hallucinating into an animal mask? Then, what if you added in the opportunity to accidentally shoot your buddies right up the exhaust port? Oh no!
Oh!
Shit. Oh no.
Wow, I died so quickly.
Indie developer Control Freak aims to fulfill these fantasies with their brand new tacti-cool shooter, Phantom Squad. Did they succeed? Well, let's find out. We were fortunate enough to get preview keys for a full co-op session during one of our community nights on the Dun Generator Discord server, which is open, by the way, if you ever need a place to hang out and shoot the breeze about some video games. So special thanks goes out to the publisher Super Rare Games for access to this pre-release build. And even more thanks go out to all our brave champions gathered around the Heroes table over on Patreon. If you want to support our cause, we'll talk more about that near the end of the video. But for now, let's pull down those balaclavas and get ready to soak up some friendly fire.
Oh, watch out.
Oh no.
I was in the pickle in the middle.
My name is Boss Sauce.
And I'm Roland Coons. And together, we are the Two-Headed Hero.
Phantom Squad is a game about a morally gray group of ghost agents that get tapped by various world governments and organizations to quickly and quietly clean up some messy situations. It starts out like many co-op experiences we've seen before, by strongly nudging you into a tutorial. Skip! Alright, now that you've skipped the tutorial, you'll find yourself in the player lobby where you can test out any weapons and gear you've unlocked, refine your loadout, and invite your friends to come sit on some frag grenades.
Fire in the hole. Oh.
Your little low-poly soldier has a fairly basic moveset. They can sprint, fire a weapon, peek through doors, and throw a crappy little elbow. Shooting is your standard top-down point-a-cursor affair with a reticule that roughly gauges your weapon spread, and each of the weapons have a pretty good feel. So it sounds like nothing special so far, right? But the real game changer lies in Phantom Squad's strategic layer, a sweeping overhead map that can be accessed at the press of a button. Now, this tactical map is more than just a shared creative space where you can draw a bunch of wieners with your co-op buddies. It contains your current mission stats, enemy counts, and even some helpful hints on what areas might be dangerous or where your objectives might be located. Anything drawn on the map shows up right in the mission environments, which is even more useful. I really like this little touch. When the floor is all covered with squiggly lines and arrows pointing everywhere, it kinda makes you feel like the John Madden of counterterrorism.
Welcome to the Department of Offense. Or he can go weak side and lead your tailback who can get in behind him, and then of course if the pursuit comes, he can always cut back against the grain from that formation.
This is a game that relies on a heavy dose of strategic planning and teamwork to succeed, even though it can be played in a single-player mode. The strategy is a bit different when you choose to go it alone. You'll have much less emphasis on pre-planning and much more reliance on twitch reflexes. But to compensate for the lack of a buddy or three watching your six, you get a powerful defibrillator. This thing pops off whenever you catch a case of lead poisoning, bringing you back to life and stunning all the enemies on screen for a few seconds. So yeah, it's basically extra lives, but it's a pretty fair way to deal with the ramped up difficulty you'll face as a lone operator. On the other hand, flying solo means you won't be absorbing buckshot from your co-op buddies, since this game features some fairly lethal friendly fire. A generous distribution of adrenaline shots goes in every pocket of every phantom on the team, so fortunately you can use these to revive your dead friends before they bleed out, as well as bring back any hostages that you might have blasted during the fray. Most of the missions involve rescuing hostages in some shape or form and extracting them to a location by making a little tactical conga line. If you manage to get the jump on an enemy while they're still stunned, you can slap handcuffs on them and drag them along, which opens up the possibility of a non-lethal run. That's a fun little challenge, even though it changes your tactics entirely. One thing I noticed is there doesn't seem to be any limit to this, and it looks pretty silly to have a big clump of bad guys pacing around behind you like a pack of sad puppy dogs. So that's a fun bonus. Now, if you've watched any of our stuff before, you might be thinking, you guys are like RPG and immersive sim dudes. What are you doing talking about a tactical shooter on this channel? The thing is, we are both fans of strategy games, and while this is not a stat-heavy RPG or a traditional box stacker, Phantom Squad is full of design choices that add heavy puzzle elements to each of its tense missions. This makes for a highly tense and immersive experience that requires some careful thinking. You might be tasked with saving hostages, or disabling a generator, or disarming a bomb. None of these things are as simple as they sound. If the terrorists hear you coming, they'll shoot the hostages.
Okay.
There's another one around the corner. Uh-oh, one of the hostages is dead.
They killed a civilian.
No.
Once that generator is disabled, oops, good luck finding your way out in the dark.
Fourth person. Let's at least do teams of 2.
Hold up. 2 guys, 2 bogeys on your... oh no, generator's out.
Hey, guess what? Light sticks are useless.
Yes, they are.
A stray bullet might just set off that bomb, so you better make sure you shoot straight. Missions are generously large maps that all have some sort of twist, and each one has a couple optional objectives that lean into the theme. For example, there's a museum level that has valuable art everywhere. If a wayward bullet destroys a Renaissance painting or a priceless Ming vase, the security alarms will go off and alert tangos to your position. That tenement with a ticking bomb inside also has all sorts of mines and tripwires laying around that must be carefully disarmed. The cartel compound? Well, not only is it full of heavy underbrush that can mask your movements, but it contains a handful of drug labs that can only be accessed by subduing the chemist for a retinal scan, and he won't go willingly. The campaign does make a couple of missteps, like a rather excruciating trial and error stealth mission, but for the most part, the levels were a blast to play through. To balance out these challenges, the game hands players a massive toolbox, and even more gear unlocks over the course of the campaign. You start out with a basic selection of lethal and non-lethal weapons, silenced SMGs, tasers, shotguns, and even a handy shield that doubles as a battering ram to bring down wooden doors.
Oops, shit. Sorry. Sorry.
I rushed him.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Ooh-wee. Oh my. That
Oh,
guy's
no,
got
ninjas,
ninja swords.
ninjas.
Oh no, ninjas.
And of course, there's the old workhorses like flashbangs and frag grenades that come in handy for breaching dangerous rooms.
Wait. Let me help.
Oh, they dead. Hold on.
Next, we get to the high-tech James Bond stuff like the door cam and the heartbeat sensor, gear that helps tag the tangos before they tag you, with bullets.
I'm gonna try.
Oh, there's a lot of guys in there. Oh, here they are. Oh, I'm down.
I particularly liked sending this adorable little flying drone on journeys down the hallways due to its generous cone of vision, and it's got a handy small EMP pulse for disabling traps and cameras. It was also pretty great for sending bad guys on a merry chase while my squad mates moved in. Then we've got the more situational stuff like the lockpick and the glass cutter, which seemed like a bit of a novelty at first. That lockpick might be useless in the drug cartel compound, but it's absolutely worth spending a precious gear slot to open up the back hallways in the museum raid. Remember that generator mission? It gets a lot easier if you remember to pack your night vision goggles. Noisemakers, EMP grenades, resupply boxes, the list goes on, and Phantom Squad spends a decent amount of effort working these tools into the mission designs to provide even more tactical options and alternative routes.
Fuck, god damn it, what happened?
I'm sorry, but they got mad at us.
Looking at Phantom Squad, it probably won't win any awards for graphics with a clean, low-poly look that it features, but there's still an attention to detail that makes the missions all feel unique to each other. I love the small touches. Leaves shaking loose from the office plants as you brush past them, glass shattering from the impact of a rifle butt, the greasy crater that a bomb-strapped terrorist leaves behind. And there's at least a few striking set pieces, especially in the nightclub level with its neon lighting and pumping house music. The audioscape is largely relegated to cinematic combat tracks and the ambient rattles of whatever machinery or air conditioners are cranking away in the background. Gunshots and explosives sound pretty beefy for the most part, although the silenced weapons have that kind of flaccid pew-pew noise that I don't entirely enjoy. But what I do entirely enjoy are all the hilariously over-the-top terrorist shouts. Who wouldn't enjoy shooting at a guy that's screaming like the dentist forgot the Novocaine? Now, Control Freak doesn't have much of a web presence, but it seems like there's only one developer, so it's kinda hard to be harsh on this game. But still, not everything hits the mark here entirely. The Steam page brags about replayability with randomized enemies and objectives, but in practice, these changes are pretty minuscule. They might move a guard here, a hostage there, you get the idea. There also doesn't really seem to be any narrative connective tissue between the missions here. Just some cool excuses to go blast bogeys with your buds. I caught a glimpse or two of some motion graphic cutscenes, but there doesn't seem to be any way to re-watch these later on, so I guess they're not important, but it's fine. In a game like this, you're here for the shooting, not the storytelling. Finally, there's a couple mission designs that seem to blindside you with a puzzle element at the very end, which kind of feels bad considering there's no mid-mission saves. That forced stealth mission has to be the biggest offender, with the entire thing being a trial and error puzzle that takes away most of the fun parts, the gadgets and the shooting, for almost the entire level. I admit that I nearly gave up on the game here. But I do get what Phantom Squad is going for. It wants that one more try feeling that Hotline Miami mastered. Since each mission only takes 10 to 15 minutes to complete, it doesn't really feel like it's disrespecting your time, but it can be pretty discouraging to scrape your way through waves of soldiers, only to find out you didn't bring a particular mission-critical piece of gear right at the end. All things considered, we had a blast with Phantom Squad, especially in co-op. Our group was a mix of players that had extensive tactical shooter experience, and some others that had never touched the genre before. And the fact that this game was so easy and intuitive to pick up and play speaks volumes. Full squad sessions were chaotic at first with a lot of stupid friendly fire moments and cell phones, but that was kinda half the fun. And after about half a dozen missions, we were working together to cover multiple points of entry, set up crossfires, and watch our six like real pros. Even the tension of single player has some legs, although multiplayer is the real show stealer here. With the 11 missions on offer, optional challenges, and tons of creative ways to load out your little army dude, it's hard to say no to this good, solid co-op shooter, especially at this price. A big thanks to 7 Monocleric and Sapphire Fox from our Discord community for helping us out with footage. And if you've gotten this far in the video, big thanks to you for taking a moment to watch. Talk to us down in the comments and let us know about your favorite co-op experiences. We read everything you guys post down there and we love to hear your thoughts. If you want to help us out more directly, you can be a YouTube member, or you can pop your head into the tavern door and drag a stool over to the Heroes table over on Patreon for as little as $1. Early video access, bonus materials, and special Discord roles are just some of the benefits you'll get by supporting us directly. Plus, you'll get your name shouted out in the credits, like the brave champions here. Wolfgang Bristol, Adam Uselman, Jeduzable, Yaroslav Rybaki, Jim DiFrancesco, Vulpes, Cameron Frement, John Williams, Mirek Hotovi, San Lunette, Thorben Pelzer. No cash today? No worries. You can still help us out by slapping the old like and subscribe buttons down there, share the video with your fellow tacti-cool shooter enthusiasts, and turn on notifications to find out when the next roundup or review rears its ugly head. We're inching close to 10,000 subs, and it would be really amazing to hit that goal this year. In the meantime, there's a ton more indie game reviews like this over on our channel. A big giant playlist of them should be popping up on your screen right about now. So maybe go check out some of those. And go play some games. And we'll see you on the next Two-Headed Hero.